Hello, my name is Anna Dixon and today we are working with the Ombre brows. For our clients today I choose tattoo inks because she is very blonde and now I will show you how I mix colors together. First color is a black color, it's the base of the color, and a lot of yellow because she is blonde, and a little bit red color because we need to make our mix warmer. I create two different mixes, one is darker and one is lighter, and mix color together. One color is supposed to be very blonde gold color. Remember that tattoo inks heal in colder, and we need to get warm color in a cup. But I like to work with tattoo inks with blonde colors because they include a lot of yellow, and it's not dangerous to work with this color, and they are very stable at time, and it helps us to keep the color for a long time. It's good for our client because permanent makeup mineral pigments, they're disappearing too quick. So for blonde girls I love to work with tattoo inks. This is one color. I make it a little bit warmer. You saw that I add a little bit red color for get it like middle brown warm color like milk chocolate. Check it on the cotton pad and you see that base is yellow and warm enough, which is good for us. And one more color mixing together. You see it's very beautiful blonde color. Black color, you see it's turning to green in a cup right now. It's because it's include a lot of black color, and black color is like cold base, and it's like mix blue and yellow together, we are getting green. But one more time I remind you that we can't work by cold color with tattoo inks because they will heal colder, and of course we need to create color with yellow base, and it's supposed to be warm. That's why I add more yellow and red, of course, because of the same reason. Colors supposed to be warm in a cup. So after healing they will look like very expensive ashy color, very natural looking. A little bit more yellow because I need second color, which is supposed to be very light. So when we work with two colors, one is darker, one is very light, we are working like 3D effect, and color looks very alive and volumistic and feels very beautiful. Okay, now we have two color, one darker, one lighter. Check on the cotton pad and you see this color is very yellow, one with red base and one is yellow base. I remind you that this is rule work for only tattoo inks, so we can't work by the same way for permanent makeup minerals pigments. Okay, now you see our client. She is very beautiful, light skin type, and she is blonde, natural blonde, very light eye color, light blue, and so our mixes, it's very matched to her color type because they will heal colder. I use dragonfly machine with 11 round liner I decided to start by big size of needle because we need very natural eyebrows, and this needle give us very transparent color. I don't want to take a risk because her skin is very clean and white, and clients very worry about how her eyebrows will look. And today we decide to do natural effect, and if she will decide to make them darker and or maybe more dense, we will do it on a touch-up. So I start to work with ombre technique and 11 round liner. Starting to work by tail and fast movements because I don't want to do too dark color. So the idea to create very transparent eyebrows by first pass, and then we will take a look how much color we have and decide how to make them darker if we need. Her skin naturally is very dry and thin, and that's why I'm working very gentle, but she cares about her skin a lot and using deep moisturizing like method therapy and creams and everything for make her skin rich of collagen, for keep skin younger. That's why I don't know what kind of result we will get after the first pass, and that's why I'm working by fast movements. And I check tail, I see the color, so it shows me that her skin is pretty good, but I need to be sure. Doing first pass, going by bottom line. Remember that eyebrows is 4 straight lines, and my movements parallel to her bottom line. And closer to beginning of eyebrow, I start to work even faster because I need to create smooth gradient and create head of eyebrow more transparent. By first pass, I always try to fix tail and the bottom line because this line help us to fix the shape, and then it's very easy to make a schedule again. Just ask your client to sit up and fix it. Now I'm working with lighter color with upper part of eyebrow and beginning of eyebrow. See, my movements are super fast because her skin is dry, and this skin type takes pigments very easy. And I remind you that we are working with tattoo pigments, which is very high concentrated, and pigment going into the skin super easy. That's why it's very effective to work with fast movements, which I really like. But it's not working for all type of skin. I use lipstick brush or lipstick applicator from Makeup Tips. You can find it very easy on Amazon. And rub pigment into the skin. I usually doing it after every pass. And now we can check how much color we have. You saw that I was working with very fast movements, but anyway, we see a lot of color. Now I put extra numbing for her with a little bit pigment. Rub it in. So I want my client feel comfortable during the procedure, and always add numbing after first pass. But first pass I'm working without numbing usually, because I don't want to waste 20 minutes for waiting when numbing will start work. And she's very good. She has very good pain tolerance, so she's quite okay. And when you're working properly with right depths, it's not painful. So first pass, it's fine to work without numbing. But of course, if your client asks you to do numbing, worry about pain or something like that, it's okay. You can put numbing before first pass. Doing the same for her left eyebrow. Starting work from tail. Strokes have the same direction like bottom line, parallel. Stretch the skin. I stretch the skin by my left hand, 2 fingers, and also I fix my right hand on the petite finger and stretch it by this finger at the same time. It's not very comfortable position, and I'm sitting on her right side, so I'm on the left side from sofa. It's just because I'm a little bit lazy to change my position. But when you are sitting on this position, it's not comfortable because there is no place for fix your hand properly, because you need to put your hand on the eye area, which is not comfortable for your client. And you need to keep your hand up. And I don't recommend to use this position for beginners. It's much better to change your position and sit on the right part of sofa and working with tail on this direction, and then change your position again to continue to work with beginning of eyebrow. But if you are experienced artist and don't want to jump around your client, you can sit on one side. Because it's not a big deal if it's not a little bit, if it's a little bit not comfortable, it's fine. Because experienced artists can find comfortable position for hands easier. But this technique is not easy, and you need very good skills to work with this technique. So for beginners, I highly recommend to find very good position for your hands and fix it properly on the face of your client. And it's a very important part of success to work with this technique, that your hands is not shaking, because it's very important to work with the right depth. Do not go too deep. Working by lighter color on the beginning of eyebrow. Super fast strokes, long, fast strokes with bigger distance for create very transparent effect. Also, I'm working with one direction towards to me. When you work with this direction, it's more safety for the skin, because when you're working with two direction, with my experience, um, needle going into the skin deeper. Doing the same pigment mask before wiping, so all pigments going into the holes which we create. It's I highly recommend to do it because it's very effective. Let's take a look what we have after first pass. Wipe it properly and you see the color. So it's more than enough for me to continue my work, because I can easily fix the shape again. Just now I will go upper, make eyebrows thicker a little bit. So the bottom line is the most important. I add numbing with the pigment. I'm working in a mess. Yes, it's hiding part of our profession. Nobody's showing it usually, but look at our client. It's better do not show them what's going on in their faces. But it's really effective. And now I'm wiping again, and you can see the difference. So I did nothing. This is the result after first pass, after pigment mask. You see how much more color we have after pigment mask. See, color is darker and shape is more visible. Here you can see that I decide to change the needle, and for 5 round, I think, liner, because her skin is very moisturizing. So she did a peeling. She just told me that she did a peeling like 3 weeks ago, and she did like moisturizing masks and care about her skin. And it's like naturally she has a dry skin type, but I did not like the result after first pass. It's not effective enough for me. I prefer to work fast, and the secret of successfully work with eyebrows is to choose right size of the needle. And if you have not enough color after first pass, you can always choose smaller size of the needle. So we did the first pass by 11 round liner, and now I choose 5 round needle, smaller size, guarantee me more dense color, and by second pass I make bottom line darker and more dense, and that's why I choose smaller size needle for get a more color quicker, and also I want to be sure that we will have a good retention. It's happened because she did a peeling, and she cared about her skin a lot, so it's like her skin included lots of collagen, which is not naturally for her. And forget more dense color, my strokes also I changed the technique, and my strokes still fast but shorter, and I put them very close to each other. And you see I'm working, wiping, checking, do it again. Work, wipe, check, do it again. Fast, short movements. And you see how much color we have. I work by this technique only on the bottom line of eyebrow. When I'm going upper, my strokes getting faster and longer with bigger distance between strokes. So shorter strokes and closer to each other on the bottom part, and then I'm going up and my strokes longer and with bigger distance between strokes. And also in the beginning of eyebrow, strokes getting longer and faster. And I'm wiping it regularly for check what color and what density of color I have. Don't be scared to, as you see, color is a little bit orange, so it's really warm. So no worry about it, because tattoo inks healed much colder. It's very difficult to cover up cold color by previous tattoo, so even if you will get very brown color, maybe a little bit orange after healing, after first procedure, it's fine, because it will be very easy to cover up on a touch-up. But if you will get cold color, it will be very difficult to cover it up, because cold color is much more stable than warm color. So now I'm working on the head of eyebrow, and I'm wiping and I'm stretching the skin by cotton disc. It helps to work faster. It's one more little trick for comfortable work. Fast, very fast, long strokes. If you work like that and you can't see color like after a couple passes, it's better to change the needle. Now we will see if it's effective enough. kind of good. So this is the result after first pass. It's very, very, very good. And I like this video because on this video you can see how different effect we getting by different size of needle. So first pass we did it by big size 11 round liner, and it color was very transparent and very fluffy and super surface. And now we are working with a 5 round needle, and color is deeper and more dense and more visible, and also we are working quicker and see the result immediately. Only one thing, that when you are working with a smaller size of needle, it's more difficult to control the right depth. So it depends of your skills. If you're a beginner, I recommend you to use less dangerous needles, like 5 round, 7 round needles, or even bigger, but it depends of skin type, of course. So my favorite needle is 3 round liner because it's the smallest one from group needles. It's give me the best retention, and I'm working super quick, and I'm getting very dense color immediately. But today I'm showing you different needles and different effects of the needle, and it's very reasonable to start by this like bigger size needle for beginners. So in this video you can see how it's work. You see much more color after pigment mask, and now it's very good. Now you can see closer how transparent color after work of 11 round liner. And also you can see the base of the color is much more visible with transparent techniques. So if you will take the same color and work in transparently and more dense, you will get different color after healing. With transparent technique you will see the base of the color. So in a cup we have a warm color, and you see warm color on her skin after 11 round liner. And now we are working with a smaller size needle. It's a 5 round, and color getting not so visible warm. You can see technique very well. It's fast movements, like a pendulum effect, pendulum movements. So I'm touching the skin by tangent. And I started to work for her left eyebrow from the head of eyebrow, but usually I'm starting from tail, but I don't want to change the position. That's why I start to work from head of eyebrow, and she's and after numbing, so she does not feel pain. So usually we start from tail because it's less painful, and it's for comfortable of our client. But after numbing they doesn't feel pain, and we can start from beginning of eyebrow or tail. It doesn't matter. But color, look at this color, it's so beautiful, so warm, so natural, and it will heal like that, just a little bit lighter and colder. Also, I like tattoo inks because they give very good retention comparing minerals pigment. But the gold rules for me, with my experience, it's so we are working with tattoo inks only for surface techniques. So it's only for soft powder eyebrows and ombre brows with light color. So I don't use tattoo inks working for brunette, for getting dark chocolate color, because I know that they will heal cold, bluish or grayish. And I never use tattoo inks working with deep technique like microblading, dots, or manual shading. If I combine two techniques together, for deep technique I always use mineral pigments. So one more time, tattoo inks only for surface technique, ombre brows and soft powder brows. And also when you work with smaller size needle, it's much more comfortable to work with any part of eyebrow. For example, now we are working with tail, and 5 is not so big, and we can easier to work in the end of eyebrow, in the tail part, because it's very thin. With 11 round liner it's not so easy, and because it's big, just it's give you big spots. And with 3 round liner it's easier than with 5. That's why my favorite needle is 3 round liner. I don't need to change the needle during the procedure, so I can do everything just by one 3 round liner. I can create soft powder technique, and I create dense color, and I can control the retention very well, because with smaller group needle we have a better retention. So for example, with single needle we will lose only 20% of the color. With 3 round liner we will lose 40-30% of the color, like a little bit more than twice lighter. With 5 we will lose 50-60% of the color, and etc, etc. So when you're working with bigger size of needle, you need to understand that today, immediately after procedure, eyebrow is supposed to be very dark. Sometimes it's not very comfortable for our clients. They have different professions, different social life, and they can't be with very dark color. So with single needle and 3 round liner we can create eyebrows, and they will heal very similar how they look today, immediately after procedure. This one I like it. So we see it today, and we know that it will be a little bit lighter, a little bit colder, and a little bit thinner. But with bigger group needle, we need to create eyebrows much more darker and very dense. And sometimes it's surprise for our client, like they are very dark today, and after healing it's totally different, much lighter, and sometimes it's like they don't like it. But for beginners it's okay. It's better to work with bigger group needle surface than with smaller size but too deep. When we work, the idea of and the best part of this technique, ombre brows, when we are working with a group needle, it's the most gentle and the most surface technique compare all other techniques and permanent makeup. What is good about it? When color located closer to the surface of the skin, color looks more volumetric and alive, and if it's warm color, like more brownish, and it's beautiful. So when we're working with a deeper technique, color look colder, always colder, and a little bit flatter, not so, I can say, like vibrating, not so alive, not like 3D. That's why I like ombre technique a lot. This is my favorite technique. After first pass, I asked my client to sit up for a second, and you see these dots. I put these dots by toothpick and pigment for fix the shape. I don't recommend to use makeup pencils or other decorative cosmetics or surgical markers because we can't sterilize it. So if you open the skin, you need to do something, you need to use something disposable. You can't touch open skin with blood and lymph on the surface by makeup pencil because you can't sterilize it after this. So it's very dangerous. Make attention on it. That's why I just use toothpick and pigment from the cup. This is one more little trick for make your professional life a little bit easier. So by third pass, we just working with the beginning of eyebrow and upper part. It's about shape. So first passes, it's about fixing the bottom line, and everything else till the end of procedure I'm just working with perfection. So I'm concentrate on the upper part of eyebrow and the beginning of eyebrow and arch. I check the shape and I check the symmetry. And try to do them as symmetry as possible. And also I create smooth gradient between darker part and transparent part. This is a secret of beautiful work, smooth gradient and ombre effect. That's why we call this technique ombre brow, because we always need a smooth gradient. This effect help us to get eyebrows which look not like tattoo but like makeup. Super realistic technique. Always remember about direction of the strokes. See, I always change position of my client's head. I turn it for find comfortable position for my hands, and I'm working by straight lines which parallel to the direction of the schedule of eyebrow. And one more thing, which is very important, um, when you're working with ombre brow, aftercare is very important. And first day of aftercare is the most important. So remind your client to remove all lymph in the first day, and they're supposed to be sure that they completely dry before they go to bed in the first day after the procedure. I changed the needle again, and now I'm working with single needle and soft powdering movements. It's fast, long movements, pendulum effect. I changed the needle for even smaller size, comparing 5 round shader for create super fluffy effect, which is very beautiful. So I decided to do it in the end of procedure because soft powder techniques, it's the most effective technique. It works super fast, and when we need a soft powdering effect, single needle is the best for sure for getting this. And now you have a chance to see it closer how I work, and you can see visible pixels. It's to get visible pixels, it's possible just only working with single needle. And her skin is so good for this. So it looks so easy and so beautiful. So I work by this technique on the upper part of eyebrow and the beginning of eyebrow, and also I cover up full eyebrow because it makes color looks more even. Remember about direction of your movements. So after arch peak, I change the direction. Straight, fast, long movements. The secret of very beautiful soft powder technique. This is a base movements. Let's take a look. Look at these fluffy borders. It's so beautiful. And also remember that single needle is very effective and retention is very good. So you need to check all points. Every millimeter of your work very gentle, no pressure. Because it's very easy to do overwork by single needle. I can say that soft powder technique or work with single needle, it's the most difficult technique in permanent makeup. You need a very good equipment, good needle, pigments, and very good skills. So the idea and the secret of this technique, it's working very surface. No pressure. Our movements are super light, like butterfly wings. Pendulum movements, one direction towards me, towards you. Or sometimes with some skin types you can work by two directions. But in my practice, I usually care about skin of my clients because they will come back to me again for touch up after a few years, and I don't want to see macro scars because it's very difficult to work with scar tissue. So I prefer to work gentle, and that's why I'm working with usually one direction because more natural movements and it's not so damaged for the skin. I recommend to think about your clients and think twice before choose damage techniques because after couple touch-ups it will be very difficult to work in the future. So think about your clients, think about yourself, about your reputation, and be smart. Here is a little bit difficult situation Look at her upper part of eyebrow. It's like a hill by bone structure, and there is no hair in this area, and it's always more difficult for our work. And in this case, when you need to work in such a difficult area, it's like you're doing one pass, two passes, and it's nothing. We need to find a solution how implant the pigment in this area. It's very important because we can't put pressure when we work with upper part of eyebrow, so we need to keep this area transparent anyway. And in this case I recommend to find the right solution. Usually I use dot technique. You see that I ask my client to sit again and fix the schedule a little bit, and you see on her left eyebrow I put few dots. It means that I need to make this eyebrow thicker, and this area what I'm talking about, we will need to work, but I think we will come back to this area soon, and I will give you my advices about it. So her right eyebrow is very close to be done, and just fix the tail a little, and it's very easy to do it by single needle because size is super small and you can work comfortably. Just work a little bit more on the arch area. I always finish the procedure working on the beginning of eyebrow and upper part. It's always in the end. So as you see, I never try to fix upper border by first pass. That's why my upper part and the beginning of eyebrow never have any visible lines or borders. It's always smooth gradient. So you need to be very good with drawing the shape of eyebrow. I'm always available if you need help with this. Please ask, and use my online courses if you need for this. But if you do permanent makeup of eyebrows, of course you need to be very good with shape, and it takes just few seconds for draw perfect eyebrows. If you know the rules, it's like mathematics. It's very easy and very simple, and you can do it super quick. It's not a magic, it's just deep knowledge about symmetry, about main points. So you don't need to be worried about the shape. It's very easy to do it, especially when you fix bottom line and tail, which I'm doing by first pass. Okay, and now we come back on our interesting situation on her left eyebrow. As you see, I'm trying again to work on this difficult area by fast, long movements. Just one more pass. I'm not pushing on the needle, so no pressure. It's never help. If it will not work again, we will need to find another solution. Just fix the tail a little bit. Make it a little bit thicker. Okay, let's take a look what we have. Add a little bit more color. As you see, I'm doing it step by step. And it's not very effective, so I'm trying one more time. But my strokes getting shorter a little, but still fast. Not very effective. So one more time. Be patient. Do not try to push. It will not help. Step by step, color getting more visible. Do it, wipe it, check it, do it again. It's very important. It's about aesthetic, and it's if you will push a little, you will get dark spots, which never look good. Continue to work. Our bottom line a little bit transparent, which is not good, so I add more color by single needle on the bottom line. And continue again on the upper part of eyebrow to finish the procedure. And now we see the color. Do it a little bit more for perfect look. Okay, we are very close to the finish our procedure, and today's was very interesting because I showed you how to use different sides of the needles and what kind of effect they have, and what depends of the size of the needle. So as you see, just want to remind you one more time. So we started to work by big size needle. It was 11 round liner, and color was very warm because we see the base color very well, and color was very transparent and very gentle and fluffy. Then we switch the needle for 5 round shader and create the middle part of eyebrow and tail, and so very dense color, and it was super quick. And then we finished the procedure by working with a single needle, a soft powder technique, to create this perfectly look. And by this video you can see difference between different sides of the needles and the effect which we have. This is a result of our procedure today. Thank you for our beautiful model. Thank you for your attention, and with love, your Anna Dixon. Very happy to see you on my online courses all the time. I wish you good luck with your work.